Bryan Singer, and I've come back to the franchise to record some more.
God, that's just a really chilling rendition of what Bryan Singer probably sounds like.
Ooh, is this Henry?
Oh no, 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 no. We're not doing.
Is this Henry Papali?
Yes, yeah.
Henry, can you give me your age, your sex, and your date of birth, please?
I am 55 years old.
Ooh,
Right, right,
far
yeah.
too old for me.
Yeah, I was born in the 60s. Yeah, yep. So,
Your butthole isn't quite pink and puckered the way I prefer.
Brian, how did you get this number, by the way?
Well, see, the people at my production company, Bad Hat Harry, because I love the film Jaws, they put me on to this podcast. I hear you've been talking very kindly about my works.
Some of your works we've been kind to, yes, yes, if not the director himself, yeah, yeah. You have a talent, yes,
X2, you like that one?
yes. That was very good.
I
It's very good.
titled it because X, it's like the shape of a butthole, and then 2, there's double butthole. It's even better.
I can't do it. I can't.
This is the franchise. This is a podcast where we take a sideways glance at film franchises.
Oh
I'm
my
your
God.
host, Daniel Ehrenberg.
Uh, I'm your host, Henry Papali. Welcome to.
And that was just a character, okay? Just a character.
Yep.
Not
yep,
a dark web recording like our usual.
No, he stays off the dark web. He's trying to be cautious.
He's on some
I-
kind of darker web that we're not
Yeah, that's
familiar
exactly
with yet.
right. He's on the cavernous web. Yeah, I couldn't even get through that. That was too cringe-inducing, but probably accurate. Welcome to episode 152, everybody.
Mm.
More X-Men.
Yes. Did you say your name?
I think so, but I'll say it again.
Okay.
Hotel Alpha Papa over here, and to my left is Delta Charlie Echo.
All right, we did it all. We said the names. We did a little bit. Should we say the names of the movies we're covering today? X-Men: Days of Future Past and X-Men: Apocalypse, the two most recent X-Men blockbusters.
Yeah, and I believe we come at these very similarly. We've only each had seen them once in the theater, and I believe we each had a similar opinion of both of them. So
I
we'll see
didn't
what
see Apocalypse in the theater.
Oh, okay, but you did see it just once.
And you know what? Can I tell you, my memory of Apocalypse is so hazy that this was when I still did like Netflix DVD rentals, Henry.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, I know. And so I had rented X-Men Apocalypse, and then probably like 4 months later, I put it back on my queue because I had just completely forgotten that I'd watched it.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't want to spoil too much, but I get it. I get it. I mean, you didn't remember that you'd even seen it.
No. Okay, but
I've done that with a million movies, not necessarily through Netflix DVD, but I mean,
that
even-
fast, and it's an X-Men movie. Like, I literally just couldn't search my brain. I have no memory of seeing the last X-Men movie.
Did it ring a bell once it sort of came on?
Not at first.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I didn't remember sitting through the Apocalypse shit. It must have been something else, like an actor. Like maybe when Ty Sheridan showed up, I was
I
like,
think you're right because you're the one who, oddly, I don't know, you corrected me, and when I thought he showed up in Days of Future Past, you were like, "No, that's Apocalypse," and you said it with certainty, so something stuck.
yeah, I was correct about that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you were.
I just know that like Ty Sheridan and Sophie Turner were introduced in a movie I didn't care about. That's my memory.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
All right, but first was Days of Future
great
Past.
Sophie Turner.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah?
Oh, good.
Okay. All right. I'm happy to hear it.
Me too. God,
Yeah.
I was worried about that one.
Okay, Days of Future Past comes out. So this is 2014. So the Wolverine was the previous year, and First Class is the Magic 3 years ago.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Okay, so Lauren Schuler Donner pitched this film,
Very famous producer.
of course, and she pitched specifically Days of Future Past because it's a very famous X-Men storyline, probably the second most famous X-Men storyline after Dark Phoenix.
You lent that to me, a shortened version of it, I believe.
It's not a shortened version of it. People
that was
don't.
the whole thing.
Yeah, people don't remember. Like it's this total classic storyline, but it's not one of like Chris Claremont's big epics. It's a 2-issue storyline.
Oh, all right. Then I read the whole thing. That was it. Okay. Yeah.
And so, of course, they're going to do it, but this would mean not only do we have to bring back the newer cast of people, which is not a big deal because they all signed deals for like 3 movies,
Okay.
but all of the older cast of people's deals ran out after The Last Stand.
Oh, all
So
right.
all these motherfuckers got to negotiate new deals, and so they all got big raises.
Ooh.
So that pushed the budget up on this baby.
All right.
Meanwhile, Matthew Vaughn was supposed to direct, but he decided to leave to do Kingsman: The Secret Service,
Okay.
which apparently is a fucking passion project. That's like all he makes now.
Yeah. Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I won't get too much into it right away, but I would have liked to have seen his take on this.
Me too. So Vaughn leaves, and Bryan Singer steps back into the seat, baby.
For the first time since X2?
The first time in this franchise since X2, that's right.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. But he's been working with them, of course. He produced First Class and has a writing credit on that.
Yeah.
Anyway, he comes back to direct here. Matthew Vaughn and Jane Goldman write a draft of the script when they thought Vaughn was going to direct. And Bryan Singer brings in this fella, Simon Kinberg.
Right.
And Simon Kinberg is a name we need to talk about because he eventually becomes very integral to the X-Men franchise.
Deadpool, right?
Well, he's writing and directing the new Dark Phoenix show, dude. I mean, movie.
Right. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
right, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the big deal is with this guy, frankly. He seems like an okay writer, but, like, so for Days of Future Past, supposedly he got paid or something like that. For the Days of Future Past and Apocalypse together, he got paid $8 million.
It's a lot for a screenwriter.
That's like a
right?
big-time paycheck for a screenwriter. But I don't know, like, what was so exciting? He wrote, like, the Sherlock Holmes movie. That
They
was
made
a
money,
hit.
though.
Yeah.
They made money,
Mr.
yeah.
and Mrs. Smith.
And that's a hit.
Yeah, but I mean, he also wrote This Means War and Jumper. Like, those didn't make money. He wrote
a
the
hit.
fucking Fantastic Four Josh Trank.
Hey, man, one hit will do it.
And you're just done.
And the 3 hits that you named, that's enough for Hollywood to put
But, like,
somebody.
forever?
Well, no, but who knows? I mean, we might not be talking about him in 10, 20 years, you know.
I know. All I'm saying is he's getting to make his feature directorial debut on the fucking Dark Phoenix saga.
Yeah, yeah. Fresh blood, I guess. I don't know.
They love
I
this
mean,
guy over here at 20th Century.
yeah. Well, probably also maybe there's a factor of he's a familiar face, so he might be a little bit of reliability. And Brian Singer is just a no go now, so they want to
Well, of
go with.
course, of course. They were never going to give Singer this opportunity, but I'm surprised. I don't know, man. This Kinberg guy. I mean, they're giving him this opportunity after writing X-Men Apocalypse, which like was universally lambasted.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. They didn't give it to Mr. Mangold.
They no, of course not.
They could have. I mean, although that would have been a tricky. He would have been just off of Wolverine. I don't know.
I think Logan was already in discussions at that stage.
So he was already, yeah.
Yeah, so they were in development on that. It'd be interesting to see that dude direct an X-Men movie, though.
Yeah, like with all the people in it.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so this movie comes out May 23rd, 2014 on a massive budget of $205 million.
My lord.
Yeah, but it's the highest grossing X-Men movie, if you don't count Deadpool.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy, actually. So that doesn't surprise me. Deadpool's
None of these fucking
number one.
movies made as much money as Deadpool.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. But I am surprised that Days of Future Past it was the biggest. I find that odd. I
First
thought
Class got people back on board, man, and then they
yeah.
came to the theaters. And Days of Future Past, a little bit of a name brand. All the nerds that might have been skipping the last couple are back out for this one.
Do the nerds skip anything?
I think they do. Nerds are stubborn. It's true.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, as we discussed last week, I came back to the franchise by this time to see stuff in theaters, so I've seen them, all of them. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm a nerd too.
Henry, this movie was nominated for an Academy Award.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think it's the first X-Men movie to be nominated for one of these great awards.
It has to be. I haven't had to have the frustrating experience of pulling that theme up in a while. So I'll do so. How does that sound, Dan?
Oh, I hate you.
How does that sound to you?
I'm just watching him. He's on video right now. I'm just watching him flip around on his phone with his little baby headphones on.
Baby headphones?
Yeah, his little skull cap.
Oh, you want to hear the ad before it?
Yeah.
That's all right.
All right. Nominated for special effects.
Is that it?
Yeah. And I'm so sorry. They lost to Interstellar. Okay.
Oh. Well, I gotta say that's fine, but the effects in this movie are very good.
The effects in this movie, yeah, they're solid, but like unspectacular.
They're inventive.
Like what?
Again, I've said this before about this franchise, but it seems to be like they get I think we said it with the Wolverine. They get inventive with the character's powers, and when they do it, it's pulled off well. It looks good. So,
Yeah, that's true. Some of the future fight scenes were pretty exciting.
Yeah, they were. Well, and that Magneto getting Wolverine trapped in those iron bars, that was pretty fucking cool. I mean, that was pretty impressive. We'll get there.
That was at the end when he throws him into like the pool.
Yeah.
All right.
The Potomac. The Potomac.
The Potomac pool.
The world famous pool in Washington, D.C. That is a big pool, my friend.
Yeah. Surfs out
The
to
one where
Lincoln.
George Washington used to roam around
All right.
the outdoor swampy pool.
All right. All right. Anyway, so what am I talking about here? Oh, Henry.
Yeah.
This was also nominated for an MTV Movie Award.
I want my MTV.
Peter Dinklage, he was nominated for Best Villain.
Aw, good for him.
Aw!
That came out wrong.
That was not great.
That
he's a human man. Dude.
I didn't mean it like that. That was just I thought he meant somebody else.
No, Peter Dinklage. He got nominated for Best Villain, and he lost to Meryl Streep for Into the Woods.
Oh man. Yeah.
This movie did very well. It came in at number 9 at the box office for the year between Maleficent and Big Hero 6. I'd like to hear yours and my top 10 lists from that year.
Yeah, we'll do it. We also, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, have Hugh Jackman ratings.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, we can do this list first. And
Let's
then
do
some
this
Jackman.
list, then let's do Jackman, and then
Okay.
we'll talk about the movie.
All right.
All right.
All right, I have a few nomorable mentions.
Fine.
The Equalizer,
Oh,
The Grand Budapest Hotel, It Follows, The Edge of Tomorrow, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Okay, I have more, but I'll stop.
most of them are on my list, so you didn't need to give him the name check.
Okay.
All right. What's your number 10?
Number 10, Interstellar.
All right. My number 10 is The Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh, all right. My number 9, Inherent Vice.
Ugh. My number 9 is Edge of Tomorrow.
The only time, folks, you'll ever hear Dan make that pronouncement.
Make
about
that
EPA.
disparaging noise about a P.T.
Yeah.
Anderson film, yeah.
Yeah. All right. My number 8 is The Babadook.
My number 8 is Happy Christmas. And I prefer the proper pronunciation, the Babadook, because it's supposed to rhyme with fucking book in that movie.
Right. Because there's the way the Australians pronounce it, and there's the way the Americans pronounce it, and I can never remember, the exact proper. But you're right.
I
because-
remember when that movie came out, everyone was talking about it. It was like a popular movie, and people were all referring to it as the Babadook. And then I saw it, and they consistently say Babadook.
Do they? I haven't seen it in a while, so all right. Do they? The Duke. The Babadook. All right, that's number 8. What's your number 8?
Happy Christmas. What's your number 7?
The Drop.
My number 7's Nightcrawler.
Oh, not nice to that X-Men character. Number 6, another character, Whiplash.
My number 6 is Snowpiercer.
That's right, and here we go.
Heavy hitters. These are the grand slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitters.
And surely this is another character in a Smallville episode. Number 5, Mr. Turner.
And my number 5 is Gone Girl, and I'd thank you not to call me Shirley.
My number 4, I'll need help with the title, is Birdman, or the expected...
The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance.
Ignorance, number 4.
Great
Yeah.
movie. My
Yes.
number 4 is The One I Love.
All right, my number 3 is A Most Wanted Man.
My number 3 is It Follows.
My number 2 movie is Gone Girl.
My number 2 is Whiplash.
And my number Ernst is the Nightcrawler.
Okay, and my number 1 is Boyhood, the best movie of that year.
Yeah, right. We don't have much in common on 2014.
No, we don't coalesce that year, Henry.
We got like 2 the same. Yeah.
So we ranked Hugh Jackman movies. And here's what you won't realize. Most of his movies, he's just playing the Wolverine.
I know. So I included the ones with cameos. I pulled a Dan. I wasn't gonna, but
This is like sort of like spoilers on our X-Men rankings for next episode.
well, not really for me. No, not for me. I had to do a balance of cameos, meaningless, but putting them everything above X3. So
Okay, well, let's see. How many have you seen?
13.
Oh, God.
What? Well, I mean, if you see,
21.
you're fucking nuts. Oh my God. We're gonna be doing Fastbender, man.
All right, 21 Hugh Jackman movies ranked.
I'll be back in a little bit.
No. All right. 21, the worst Hugh Jackman movie, dude.
All right.
Van Helsing.
Never saw it.
So bad. It's
Has
trying to be like respectful to the Universal monster movies, but everything in it just looks like trash. My number 20, a movie that I super duper hated, that was nominated for a lot of Oscars, is Les Miserables.
Oh, I wouldn't have seen that if you gave me 2 free passes to 5 other movies.
Okay. It's worth it for Russell Crowe. My my number 19, Henry, is a real cyber hacker thriller. And, bro, if you go see this movie, Halle Berry's boobs come out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't see this.
Swordfish. All right, my number 18, as reference on our James Mangold ranking, is Kate and Leopold.
All right, another one I didn't see.
My number 17 is a piece of shit called X-Men: The Last Stand.
Wow, so that's better than all those other ones. All right.
Yeah,
That's hard to believe.
I know.
I feel like Van Helsing has to be entertaining in a bad way.
It might be. It might be now. Because now, like, the special effects are even worse because they're dated also.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I didn't hear that last part. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. My number 16 is Deadpool 2.
Oh, I didn't include Deadpool
Oh. I thought you said you included cameos and shit.
in X-Men movies, man.
This
Not
is a kind of an X-Men movie.
Yeah, no, you're fair enough. I didn't do that, but that's okay.
Okay.
So then I've seen 15, whatever.
My
All right.
number 15 is the Ashley Judd rom-com, Someone Like You.
I have seen that.
Okay. Wait, is this where you come in? Number 14?
No, 13.
Okay, my number 14 is his recent political film, The Front Runner.
I wanted to see that because of my bent towards political movies, and I like the whole story of Gary Hart. But it did not look good. And was I right?
Yeah, the movie's not good. The story was. I felt like I would have been better off reading the Wikipedia entry on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll skip it. I mean, I probably wasn't going to see it anyway, but you're the only person I know who saw it. So.
Yeah, I checked it out, dude, but I'd only give it like a 2. What's 13 on your list?
I remember watching this in college. It was on HBO. I was kind of in love with Ashley Judd. I figured, oh, well, someone like you is a piece of shite.
Here's the 2 things I remember about that movie. And one of them has nothing to do with the movie. So, at one point, Ashley Judd is bouncing around wearing a men's shirt and purple underwear. And that stuck with me, Henry.
I can imagine.
And the other thing I remember is that the original title of the movie was Animal Husbandry.
Oh, isn't that a book?
Yeah, that it's based on that book.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that.
And then
Oh
like
my
the
God.
studio people, even though that book was a huge hit, because they're idiots, got scared and they were like, you better change the title to something people will get. Here's 3 rom-com words strung together. Someone like you.
It's called The Philosopher's Stone. Let's go with, I don't know, Sorcerer, maybe. They know what that is? I don't know. All
Okay.
right, what's 13 for you?
X-Men Apocalypse.
Whoa. Okay. Number 12, and the second worst Hugh Jackman movie, is X-Men 3: The Last Stand.
Okay, my number 12 is X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh, all right. My number 10 is
11.
X-Men. My number 11 is X-Men Apocalypse.
Okay, my number 11 is Happy Feet.
You saw that.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about me, Henry?
Your movie-going choices?
That remember that year there were 2 cartoons about penguins dancing. One
what
was
year
called
was
2006, I think. So there was Happy Feet and Surf's Up. There were the 2 competing penguins dancing movies, and I saw both of them, baby.
that? Yeah, of course.
Surf's Up
All
was
right.
better.
I'll take your word for it.
But Happy Feet was directed by George Miller.
I remember that. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
I think that might be why I saw it.
Mad Max, George Miller.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. My
Top 10.
number 10 is, and this is more because he's barely in it, but and not affecting my X-Men ranks. X-Men First Class.
My number 10, and I believe this will be high on your list, Henry, is The Fountain.
Okay. Interesting. That's your number 10?
Yes.
All right. My number 9 is X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Okay, my number 9 is a Woody Allen feature film called Scoop.
Oh my God. I was out by that point, so I didn't see it.
It's not a bad one.
No?
No, it's got its moments. ScarJo's in there.
Yeah. All right.
Ooh, did you see Endgame yet?
Yes,
You did.
I did. Yeah.
All right, me too. Me too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Everyone has to wait.
Yeah, we're doing it next week. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll gather our thoughts. All right, what are you up to? 9 we did. What's your 8?
The Fountain.
Okay, mine is X-Men.
Oh, all right.
Number
My number
7.
7 is The Wolverine.
All right, my number 7 is Christopher Nolan's The Prestige.
Too low. Especially for Jackson. All right. Number 6, X-Men Days of Future Past.
All right, my number 6 is The Wolverine.
All right. Number 5.
Heavy hitters.
That's right. The one that started it all for old Hugh, X-Men.
All right, my number 5 is Days of Future Past.
Kind of similar lists here. My number 4 is X2.
My number 4 is X-Men First Class.
I admire the choice, if not the idea. All right. My number 3 is The Prestige.
Okay, my number 3 is Logan.
Wow. All right. A lot of divergence here, probably. The number 2 best Hugh Jackman performance and probably movie is Prisoners.
My number 2 is also Prisoners.
Look at that. All right. And so far, until next week, the number 1 Hugh Jackman movie is absolutely Logan.
And I put X2.
I thought you might. All right.
That's true. Yeah. Daniel's list is better, Wolverine.
It's the DCO and the HHO.
That's right.
Thank you.
Okay, Days of Future Past, man. Let's talk about it.
All right.
It starts off, 20th Century Fox logo comes up. What's that? They throw a little X-Men score in there.
Yeah, we are not, speaking of Jackman's, he's gone, Henry Jackman.
Yeah, we brought John Ottman back.
Yeah.
To do his serviceable job.
Exactly. It's so serviceable that I almost don't want to knock it. It's not worth knocking. It's totally fine. But boy, I thought of how you remarked on that Magneto theme, and I was sad that was gone.
I know. What the fuck, man? The scores in these movies are boring except for First Class.
I agree.
Did you see that I wasn't done with the 20th Century Fox logo, Henry? Did you happen to notice that when the 20th Century Fox logo went away, the X was remaining upon the...
Yeah, and then we get, we can count on Singer for one thing. Those credits are now starting to annoy me.
They're terrible because, I don't know, there's something about Bryan Singer where he made those first two X-Men movies and now he's back. He's the general. He's returning home.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because we didn't have those for a few movies.
No. We had developed a new, exciting aesthetic with the last movie. We were gonna do a new thing with this franchise, and then old Bri-Bri's coming back. He's like, listen, everything in my two X-Men movies is iconic and worth doing again. And so,
including my David Fincher credits. Yeah.
Including my shitty fucking credits, which look even worse in 2014.
They really do. You're right. Because you could at least contextualize the first two and be like, oh, okay, effects are effects in 2000. But now, no excuse.
I hated them even more in Apocalypse, dude, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yuck. Okay. So, are we starting in the future? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, we're in 2023.
Is that what it says?
I gave up a long time ago but I can't stop when I'm watching the movies trying to calculate everybody's age.
So listen, man, in 2000, we were told that movie took place the near future, okay? And we thought that might mean like 20 years or something.
No, it was probably more like 2001.
Because now it's 2023 and we're treating it like this. It's this distant fucking post-apocalyptic future.
I don't know. You know what it is? I think they did it now looking at the plot explanation. Since the past is 1973, could that be because that's like 50 years and they just wanted to do an even 50 years back?
Probably. I mean, that's the Back to the Future special. Or no, it was 30 years in that.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't know what they were thinking, really, with why would they even need to say 2023? Why couldn't they just say, like, crazy future world?
Yeah, they don't even need to say anything. Just show that what's going on. Like, the shots of what's gone on in the world are probably enough.
Yeah, show Hugh Jackman with his stupid little grays on the side of his head, and people will understand what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really need it, but we really want to label these a lot, so fine.
So yeah,
we're getting Sentinel attacks.
Sentinel attacks. This part is pretty baller. I remember having similarly nerding out feelings as to what I talked about when Nightcrawler was like teleporting around the White House. Seeing like future X-Men with like Kitty Pryde involved, like beating down on Sentinels. And they look like fucking Nimrod Sentinels, which will mean nothing to nobody except for like...
Or me.
4 X-Men weirdos in the audience.
Yeah, because I only remember when they go in the past, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what Sentinels look like.
Yeah.
But these ones, I don't know. I haven't read. I don't think I've seen these.
They're Nimrods, no big deal. We've spent a lot of time in X-Men comics in like post-apocalyptic futures. So these post-apocalyptic futures are very fleshed out.
Okay.
And we're including like 1,000 new X-Men, right? Like, can you remember anyone that's out there in the future world?
Well, I was assuming oddly, and I think correctly, that from First Class, not a new one, but is that Pyro?
No, that was Sunspot.
Okay,
Yeah, he's from the New Mutants.
I see. I see.
But yeah, there was Bishop out there, you know, like putting force into his big gun.
Bishop, yeah,
Yeah.
from Aliens.
No, Bishop's an X-Men character.
Oh, all right, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Although, from post-Alien, it very well might be an Alien reference.
There you go. And we got Blink, Warpath.
How about Blink, man? Bing Bing fan. You're not going to see her in another X-Men movie.
Or as the Wikipedia page says, Fan Bing Bing.
Okay, but do you know about her situation?
Oh, no. Is this going to be upsetting?
No.
Okay.
It is great, dude. She got caught on some fucking crazy, like, tax evasion in China.
Okay.
And she's, like, in jail over there now.
Oh, this is not in the future past. This
No,
is
in real life.
In 2023.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Fan Bing Bing. She's over there in prison.
In some Chinese shithole. Oh, my.
God. Yeah.
No. Not a good country to get caught on tax evasion. Here, it's like a Nordic prison. It's a palace, but, ooh, boy.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Good point. We also get to see, like, Iceman. Remember, you were like, when are we going to see him on, like, ice ramps?
Fucking A.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's doing
I
it.
see it. Yeah, no, we get a nice display of people's powers. I actually am glad you finally told me about Mr. Boo Boo Stewart and his powers, because I couldn't figure them out. He just seems to power up lasers and then get teleported around.
Who are you talking about? That's not Boo Boo Stewart.
That's Warpath.
Boo Boo Stewart plays Warpath. I'm talking about Bishop.
Oh, I'm sorry. You just said that's right. Warpath's the guy with the paint over his eyes.
Yeah. He's a Native American fella, and he's in the X-Force, and he's just like, he's got one of those like juggernaut powers. He'll like run into you real fast.
That's it.
Just
Yeah.
whack you with his head.
That's Bing Bing and Boo Boo.
Blink, Bing Bing fan. She makes portals. And
Well, that's useful.
And they recast her on that show, The Gifted. And then there's Bishop. He's the one with the gun.
Right.
He powers up the gun with the force of other people's energy. Okay?
Yeah. Did you get that reference?
What'd you say? You cut out for a second there, buddy.
I said, push it, Bishop.
No, what is that a reference to?
That's Aliens.
Oh, I don't know references. Henry, this movie, they're in the future, and they've got to send someone to the past to prevent the future from ever happening. They see the point of the future changing being Mystique going and murdering Bolivar Trask, the creator of the Sentinels, which creates a wave of anti-mutant panic in America.
Yes.
Now, of course, Days of Future Past is also a brilliant choice for an X-Men movie in 2014 because it has the added bonus of being kind of a major Mystique storyline, and we have Jennifer Lawrence playing Mystique.
Yeah. And I will say, for the record, I did agree with you that she's great in First Class. She is much better in this movie.
She's got the confidence of a movie star in this one.
Well, she's more emotive. She's less of a statue in this. It's not just what they give her to do. I just thought she was more into it. You know, she looked more sure-footed. You know, it fit her. It fit her more. You know,
it's true. They also changed all the makeup on her to fit her. They were like using the model of Rebecca Romaine still in First Class.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro. So who are we going to send back in time? Oh, of course, it's Wolverine, because he's the only X-Man anyone could care about.
Well, yeah, for sure. But I like the little logic that they used there.
No, it makes
You
sense,
know?
but let's be honest here. In the comic, it's Kitty Pryde that goes back in time. We have Ellen Page. She's an Academy Award nominee by this point. That would have been a perfectly nice story to tell on screen, but no, it's gotta be Wolverine.
Bub.
Yeah. So we
Yeah,
send him back,
Yep. Yes.
and
we send him back.
it's the 1970s.
Yeah.
He wakes up
It's-
in bed post-bone, and we see his
Very
butt,
funny.
full butt Jackman.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
This
because,
guy's
Brian
body is unreal, though.
Yeah, right. He's continuing from the Wolverine, where he's just ridiculously Jackmaned up.
He looks incredible.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. All right, so I love this establishing shot with him waking up and seeing the lava lamp. And
Lap.
yeah. And he pops his claws in their bones.
Very cool. That
Yeah.
was cool too. Confusing in terms of timelines again, but that's okay.
Well, it's very confusing thinking about when Days of Future Past happens compared to X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Exactly.
That is
Yeah.
impossible to reconcile.
It really is, because I'm thinking like I was trying to be like, wait. When does the majority of Origins take place? And then I was like, oh yeah, I guess it does take place in the mid-70s.
You don't know that, man. I feel like X-Men Origins Wolverine, well, it has to be post-Vietnam, right?
Right. So mid-70s.
So mid-70s to late 70s.
possible.
So that has to be after this. Oh, well, that actually makes sense, dude.
Right, but Stryker is like a young man in this, and in the Origins he is not. He's Danny fucking Houston. So whatever.
Is he a different actor in this? We've now had fucking 3 different actors play this Stryker fella.
Yeah, he's the third and last. I believe he's in both this and Apocalypse. But yeah, he's the third one.
Just de-age me, Wolverine.
Brian called off this argument too, right? He wanted to come back for this. Why isn't anyone hired? I'm available.
All right. So what happens? He goes to find Magneto, and it's really like a quest from this point out. He's back there. He thinks he needs Wolverine. He needs Magneto and Xavier in order to go convince Mystique. Right.
That's right.
So all that's left to do is have Wolverine go find Xavier, and then have him go find Magneto, and then talk to fucking Mystique. Like, the rest of the movie's figured out for you, dude.
Yeah, it's true, which I liked, because it's already, with the timelines, it's already, it's not that convoluted. They do a pretty good job, but that's totally it. You're right. And along the way, we get an excellent broken down James McAvoy. I mean, I've tried to avoid those puns, Deadpool, but we can keep doing it. But it can get exhausting.
So yeah, McAvoy's all bummed, and he's also like walking again, which I think like undercuts that moment that I liked so much at the end of First Class.
Right, because this is the first time we've seen him since, but I think I don't know, you think it undercuts it?
I think it does a little bit.
Why?
Because then we see him get like even more crushed at the end of this movie.
So they just brought back his legs so they could re-crush him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's taken Hank's serum. He loses his powers of mind, but gains his powers of leg. So, and he's a lost cause. I didn't remember. I'd only seen this once, but I didn't remember that basically they explained that why he's so crushed isn't just because of, like losing Raven and losing Magneto as buddies. It's the Vietnam War has drafted a lot of the students out of his school.
Apparently, all of the X-Men.
Every one of them, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just him and Hank in the house.
So that's it's such a weird explanation, Henry. Every character you're like wondering about from the last movie, like, so where's Havoc? Oh, drafted, Vietnam War. Right? Yeah.
Drafted or killed by Trask.
Anyone you're wondering about.
Yeah. Easy explanation.
Mm-hmm. Where's Azazel? Oh, he got drafted. Azazel got his draft card. Okay.
He tried to get in the National Guard, but he didn't have enough connections, so he got shipped over. Yeah.
He teleported over.
That's right. Azazel Johnson. Is there an Azazel Johnson here?
It's pronounced. It's pronounced Azazel Janssen.
It's pronounced Azazel Rochmanichin. Is there a Havoc Jackson? Is there a Havoc Jackson?
His name is Alex Summers, Henry. How dare you?
Is there a Havoc Summers?
Henry, where are we here?
Who knows? We're gonna get
the Prison Break. We do the big Prison Break with Evan Peters.
We do this thing first. Yes, let's find Evan Peters first.
Right. We have to find Evan Peters. He's at his. Where do we find him? His mom's.
How in Magneto's ex-girlfriend's house.
Right. Of course.
Evan Peters, the MVP of the movie.
Oh, really? Even though he's only in like a couple scenes.
Doesn't matter. He's a scene stealer. And oddly, this is the same year that his character was also in Avengers: Age of Ultron, and ain't no comparison to Quicksilver's, my friend, as you well know.
It really is true. It's like the only time Marvel Studios went up against another company with using the same character, and in this case, Marvel Studios got fucking beat. And they just unceremoniously killed off their Quicksilver, and they were like, X-Men, you got this one.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, he's great. I was having a tough time towards the end with my MVP because I was going Jennifer Lawrence, so it's a little it's paining me a little bit, but Evan Peters is fucking great, man.
Yeah, I want to talk about it some more, but that's a very viable choice. I've been a fan of that dude for longer than most people, so I feel a sense of ownership over Evan Peters.
What else have you known him from? Because I don't know that I have.
Well, I was into this show called Invasion all the way back in the year 2007. And there he was over there.
Oh.
But I mean, like most people now know him for American Horror Story, I think.
Oh, I don't watch that.
Yeah, he's in like every season of that. And I love him on that show, Pose.
Don't know it.
That's one of my favorite shows on TV, man. Pose. It's about like the New York City transgender scene in the late 80s.
Okay. All right.
It's super good.
I'm waiting for the Philip Roth, David Simon project on HBO.
Oh, you decided there's one television program that's going to come up at some point. You're going to watch that one.
Yeah, that's my one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
That's all I watch. That's it.
So
I'm down to Philip Roth adaptations.
So that fucking Quicksilver scene where it's basically just a power demonstration is a really fucking cool power demonstration. It's honestly, this is probably why it was nominated for Best Visual Effects. Because
it's
really
really
super
good.
inventive. Yeah. And
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was talking about this. It really captured the zeitgeist, this scene, in a way that not a lot of movies have.
Yeah, it's not just the sequence where he slows things down, which he also does in Apocalypse, but it's also just the way they depict him running. We've seen that obviously awfully in The Flash, in Justice League. We saw it in Avengers: Age of Ultron. It's kind of done a lot the same way. It's whenever Superman has to run fast, but this is just very cool. It's just he's almost like a teleporter, but it's just done slightly differently. So it's very cool.
Yeah, but it makes sense, and it adds clarity to the scene. It's a way of showing a really fast character at slow speed, where it's not just a dude running slowly and boringly. It's showing every piece of what this character can do, and it really it puts the character over, bro.
Yeah, you're right. So they grab him. And then they go to the Pentagon to break out.
Break into the Pentagon and get Magneto out of jail.
Hello.
So yeah, we had to switch recording methods. It's getting stormy out there, and Henry's internet went out.
Yeah, so I'm doing my little fail safe, which hopefully will be good enough for this week. All right.
H-Dog, you were very excited about all the political content in X-Men First Class. How'd you feel about straight-up Richard Nixon being one of the characters in this movie?
I'm pretty dumb. Yeah, I think that was a misstep. I think it was way too cartoony. I think First Class did a much better job of just keeping the president sort of off camera, and when showing him, just using the real footage. I think it was much better to have like some surrogate people
rather than an actor with jowls pasted onto him.
Yeah, it was really bad. Yeah, I think that was the other thing, right? It was almost like they hired some fucking guy on a Hollywood corner who does Nixon impersonations. I mean, it was really bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
we should have just gotten Michael Ironside back. He could have done it.
There you go. I mean, there's a million options for that. I don't know. I didn't think that would bother me at all. I didn't even remember, but it's pretty dumb. I don't know.
Definitely a stupid touch.
Yeah, it's not necessary. I mean, you can just have the president. You can have like the Secretary of Defense or some bullshit be the guy that's going to be killed or something. You don't need to. I don't know. Silly.
What'd you think of Dinklage as Bolivar Trask?
I thought he was great. I kind of wish he would have been on there a little bit more.
I felt the same way. It would have been nice because this movie doesn't really have a villain. Because you're supposed to feel for Mystique and understand why she's doing what she's doing. And so, like, the villain in this movie is the sort of nebulous idea of the future.
Yeah, you're right.
And so it's nice to have Peter Dinklage walking around as, like, a heel. But it would have been nicer if he had a bigger role and could actually be the villain of the piece.
I agree, because in every scene he's in, he's excellent. And I don't... it was a very strange idea to sort of not flesh him out a little bit better. I didn't remember thinking that the first time, but upon this watching, I really noticed it. So
I thought it was really charming watching the guy act. Doing his thing. He's just down there doing his thing.
Oh man.
What? I'm reading from your notes, Henry.
I appreciate that. That. You're trying to help me out. You're trying to salvage my
by me being even worse.
Yeah, I mean that's what a friend does. I appreciate that. Yeah. Although then it was from my notes. So yeah. What else do I have marked in my notes there about Peter Dinklage?
I see here that you gave this movie a 4. That's interesting.
Interesting. Ooh, we are gonna find out. Dan doesn't really have my notes, everybody. We're just playing a little game.
Oh, but it's a bit.
We'll see how accurate he is. I you know what? What's funny, Dan?
Tell me.
I happen to have your notes here too.
Oh, what do they say?
It says a 3. It looked like you had written 4 and then crossed it out. 3. So that was interesting to me. But yeah, and then under Peter Dinklage, you wrote, "I can't believe they hired an actual midget for the movie." I don't know why you would write something like that.
I
That's
didn't. I would never hire.
Really
I would
offensive.
never. I would never hire a midget. No, I would never write that because
Well,
Boulevard
here.
Trask isn't even a dwarf. He is a full-size man, and it's size blind casting.
Size blind. Is it colorblind too? Should it have been Bill Duke?
A very little Bill. They should have like miniaturized Bill Duke.
Make Bill Duke be like Ant-Man or something.
Tiny Will Duke,
He could be Goliath, dude.
There you go.
listen.
No, we already have Goliath. Remember, that's
We do.
Larry Fishburne.
Oh,
in,
you're
Ant-
right. It's Larry Fishburne and Ant-Man as well as the Wasp.
right.
Which turned out to be a very important movie to the plot of Avengers Endgame.
Certainly did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, spoilers.
Don't say anything.
Yeah. Henry, what do you got for the rest of this movie? There's the big confrontation over there at the White House. And I enjoyed the way they handled that. And Magneto's pretty baller in that scene. That was probably Fassbender's best bit of the movie.
That was awesome. Yeah, he's lifting up RFK Stadium. That's pretty fucking cool. I thought the back and forth between the events of the future and the past were genuinely tense. I really liked that.
Agreed. I particularly thought that Ellen Page was good again, and having Patrick Stewart back with Ian McKellen really means something.
I agree. That was cool. That is also for our audience. If you haven't seen the X-Men films or you're watching them along with us, or you plan to, that is the first time we get in the same movie the for real, like the old versions of Magneto and Xavier and the young ones, and that was pretty neat to see them. And it kind of fits seamlessly. You don't really have a moment where you're going, I can't believe they aged into that, or that's not what they would look like when they were younger. You know what I mean? I think it's probably the very good acting, too.
I think McAvoy had a couple line deliveries where it was a little Patrick Stewart-y, and I was thinking he might be stewarding this line delivery up a little bit because he has to match with him in this movie.
That's interesting. I didn't get that, but sure. Stewarding up the line, you said?
Yeah. And I feel like Fassbender didn't give a shit. He was just doing his own thing, which was fine.
Michael Fassbender, yeah. He again is awesome. I hadn't remembered him being in this so much, and he really is. And the movie also, let's not forget, just like First Class, it has a good sense of humor. A lot more than our next movie, but the jokes are funny. They're good. Some good asides. I mean,
that's a good point, and that's a thing the X-Men comics have gotten mired in because Days of Future Past is such a classic storyline. They've like revisited this like awful demonic future a lot of times. Okay. And it tends to get mired in the sadness of that. I feel like in the 90s, like the X-Men line as a whole was just like full of characters that were just like living out the rest of their days until the future fell apart.
It's just very dour.
Yeah. And so it does help for this to be funny. I mean, the Quicksilver thing just visually is amusing to watch.
Exactly. Yeah.
And,
that's a big part of it. And so yeah, I like this movie more than I remembered liking it. But I mean, I remember seeing it in the theater and I thought it was pretty good. But I liked it more on
I
this?
liked it less than I was expecting to like it, but
Oh.
I still am gonna give this movie a 4. I think it's a strong X-Men movie. I think it's a
Cool.
strong follow-up to First Class. But I think on this watch of First Class, I kind of fell so in love with the universe of that movie that I kind of did not need the Bryan Singerettes to come back.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretty much agree with everything you said. I had been verging on 5 for a little bit of the movie, and then I did go down to 4, and a lot of that had to do with First Class just being so phenomenal. But I really don't want to take away too much from this movie. It's very, very good. It's a very good, solid X-Men movie. Obviously, next week we'll be ranking them all, and I'm very curious to see on both our lists where this particular movie falls. But
I also want
yeah,
to say
sure.
that the movie has like an enormous reset button ending, like starting the clock over on what they did to the franchise in Last Stand, which allows them to
Yeah.
tell stories featuring like the adult versions of Cyclops and Jean Grey and all of that, all those folks, even Halle Berry and even Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah, I was sorry to see that. I genuinely was. He walks by him in the hallway, and I was like, oh man, I didn't need that.
I
It
know.
was-
I felt
like-
the same way. I could have done
really-
without that one. Yeah.
Give me. I don't know. Throw Clive Owen in there with some blue makeup. Who cares?
I feel like
throw
we should ignore Last Stand entirely except for Ellen Page.
Yeah, I agree. Or shit, man. Just put Nicholas Hoult in some aging blue makeup. He's only walking by the camera. You barely.
Hell
can see.
yeah. All right,
Who, by the
so
way, is excellent in this too.
totally great. So anyway, they rush through that at the end. They bring back all the old characters. Wolverine sees Jean alive, and it's like, my love, I've missed you so
That
much.
was very funny. Yeah.
I must. You look amazing. And she's like, we've met 4 times. Leave me alone. We're not star-crossed lovers. Shut up.
Another fun Cyclops moment with him. I like that. Where he stops his hand. Whoa, buddy, what are you doing?
I
that was
enjoyed it
good.
too. Very Cyclopsy. And then so I have a big problem with this. At the time, I was so excited about this sort of reset button ending because I hated Last Stand so much, and I loved those first 2 movies. And at the time, I didn't love First Class the way I do now.
Mm.
And so I was like super pumped about this. I was like, great, X-Men franchise back on track. Let's keep making movies with the old crew. And then
Yeah.
and now I'm sort of like into the First Class people, but also in hindsight, in Apocalypse, they decided to do the movie with the First Class people anyway. So what was the point of all that? It was just
I
Bryan
know.
Singer putting his toy back together.
Yeah. It's a good way to put it. Yeah, I know. They're all over the place. I don't know. And then we do get another stinger, which is truly a stinger for the nerds. Of course, when I saw this in the theater, I had no fucking clue what I was watching.
X-Men nerds know that if we're seeing sand dunes, we're probably talking Apocalypse.
Yeah, I had never encountered that villain in any X-Men comic I've read, so I didn't even know. I didn't get it at all. But
He's
yeah.
a big one. Age of Apocalypse was another big 90s X-Men storyline. He was very popular, and so, yeah, they set that up. I think Singer had already, locked this in. They'd started working on the Apocalypse script while they were working on Future Past.
I figured as much because in a rare moment of X-Men continuity, it seemed like they knew what was coming next.
Didn't help.
But yeah, so 4 stars. My MVP's Evan Peters.
I'll go
my
Evan Peters
LVP
also, dude.
Okay.
I think that's a good call.
Thank you. I was having a tough time with the LVP. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out because there's really nobody that's bad in this.
Is that true?
In Days
Nixon?
of Future Past? Okay. Yeah, you know what? Yes. Good. Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, that's
I mean, I'm looking at the players on the board. We needed a new version of Toad.
yeah, that I thought about you when I saw that. I was like, "Oh, there's Dan's favorite character."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, still not into Bobby.
Oh, he was fine.
He's fine, I guess. No, I'll go with Nixon as the LVP. I will say we should probably mention for the nerds out there is a whole nother cut of this movie that swaps out Anna Paquin as Rogue for Ellen Page, I think.
Swaps out Anna. You mean the other way around?
No. Like there's a cut of the movie where Kitty Pryde can't handle the thing she's doing, and they bring in Anna Paquin
To take over?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's like a
Okay.
whole subplot in the movie, 20
Sure.
minutes they cut out with Anna Paquin.
Huh. Yeah, she got the hose then because she just gets a little shot in the end. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. But she apparently was on set for longer.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right.
So poor Anna Paquin, but whatever. She her husband's still working in the X-Men franchise over there on The Gifted.
Oh, well, isn't
Sup-
that lovely?
Yeah, superhero count?
Yeah. Sans music. Sorry, folks.
Right.
Want to give me a rendition of that Superman thing?
Yum, 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 yum. Yum, yum, yum. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, yum, yum.
Pretty good. All right, I got a 6 count.
Ugh.
I got I got a Peter Dinklage, of course. Played the great-
Infinity War.
That's right. He played. I don't even know how to say this name. Eitri.
I don't
Yikes.
remember. But he was way better in Days of Future Past than he was in that.
Yeah. Well, sure. Evan Peters, of course, was in Kick-Ass, which I didn't remember him and still don't remember him being.
He's
in that.
one of Kick-Ass's friends.
Okay. All right. Oh, side note, isn't the actor who plays Kick-Ass the other Quicksilver?
You're absolutely right.
Jesus.
And they work
that
together.
just occurred to me. Wow. Weird.
Are you going to go back and watch Kick-Ass now and be like, look, they both played the running fast man?
Not only do I talk like that when I watch Kick-Ass, sure, yeah. Okay, now Bing Bing Fan or Fan Bing Bing
Yeah.
played Wu.
She played
Woo.
Jailbird, am I right?
Right. I hope she gets out soon because I know in China they have those short prison sentences. Wu Jiaqi in Iron Man 3.
Oh,
You know
sure. No, she probably worked for the fake Mandarin or whatever.
Yeah. Boo Boo Stewart played Warpath. Was in cartoon Marvel Rising Secret Warriors, playing a character named Exile.
Interesting. I do like the Secret Warriors.
All right. And a Spider-Man cartoon playing the villain Jack O'Lantern.
That's a great villain.
Yeah, I've actually heard of him. Yeah.
He's like Hobgoblin, but his head's a jack-o'-lantern.
And 2 more. Michael Lerner, who you definitely recognize. He played Senator Brickman in this. He was like that big, fat, white-haired guy.
I
with
know
the glasses.
Michael Lerner, of course.
I knew you would, yeah. He played a character named Ashton Ripley in the 1970s Wonder Woman Linda Carter show.
And he was the original principal on Buffy the Vampire Slayer before he got, murdered by a pack of students possessed by hyenas.
Oh my goodness! Didn't he also play a character named Ebert in the Godzilla movie?
He was, of course, Mayor Ebert in the Godzilla movie.
A subtle knock to Roger Ebert or something.
I fucking love that movie. Dude, I saw a trailer for this new Godzilla movie. Shit looks boring.
Yeah, I did too. I saw it. I've seen a bunch of. Oh boy, how long was it? Well, we'll get into it next week.
Yeah.
And finally, the guy who played Nixon, Mark Camacho, was in Punisher Warzone, playing Pitsy.
Pitsy?
Yeah, do you know who that is?
No.
All right. That's all I got.
All right, bro. You want to talk about X-Men Epoch?
Not really. Let's talk about Days of Future Past again.
No. Apocalypse.
No, let's talk about Apocalypse. Yeah, go ahead.
It comes to us 2 years later, not the magic number.
No.
May 27th, 2016. On a budget of $178 million, it made $543.9 million, which is a full $200 million less than the previous movie made.
Yeah, it probably had one of those big opening weekends and then just trailed off after critics got a hold of it, right?
That's right. Number 17 at the box office between Star Trek Beyond and Trolls, neither of which lit the world on fire. And
Was Star Trek Beyond the third one?
Yes.
I liked that a lot.
No, I did too, but I feel like people didn't care as much.
Yeah, second one turned them off.
I guess, yeah. Probably right.
All right.
Simon Kinberg wrote this bad boy, Singers back to direct. All right, you got your 2016 list somewhere.
I do. I have a rewritten one. It's radically different, and therefore I would like to read some honorable mentions, please.
Yeah, go nuts.
Thank you. A very strange independent horror movie that I forgot I'd seen of that year, black and white horror movie called The Eyes of My Mother. That's an honorable mention. You ever heard of that?
No.
It's fucked up, but it's really good. I think you'd dig it.
Okay.
By the way, I'm watching House of the Devil on your recommendation.
You're watching it? What, you mean you're in the middle of the movie?
Yeah, I fell asleep when I put it on.
Oh,
That's
okay.
because I put it on too late. Yeah, but I'm liking it very much so far.
Cool.
So thank you for that. Bleed for This, Moonlight, Desierto, Blair Witch.
Desierto?
Yeah, I believe
Isn't that the one by Alfonso Cuarón's brother?
Yeah, but it's really fucking good.
Oh.
I had forgotten about it. It's really good. And the new Blair Witch, which I do not understand why it wasn't more popular. I thought it was very entertaining. And you'll be happy to know, I'll just mention one more. It did get bumped for this Silence.
Oh, good. I like the silence. My honorables, Henry, are Captain America Civil War, Sully, Don't Breathe, Arrival, 10 Cloverfield Lane, The Shallows, and Tickled.
Oh,
and The Lobster.
Oh, that was this year too?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
All right, what's your number 10?
HM for me. Number 10 is The Witch.
Okay, my number 10 is Patterson.
All right. My number 9 is the third best Star Wars movie ever made. That is Rogue One.
Oh, God. My number 9 is Nocturnal Animals.
Ooh. My number 8 is Captain America Civil War.
My number 8 is Everybody Wants Some.
My number 7 is another great independent horror movie called The Monster.
My number 7 is Elle.
God damn it. Great movie.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, I had to rush this, folks, but it's okay. I'm still happy with my list. Number 6 is Fences.
My number 6 is Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping.
Here's 10 Cloverfield Lane.
My number 5 is Manchester by the Sea.
Okay. My number 4 is Indignation, speaking of Philip Roth.
My number 4 is Moonlight.
All right. My number 3 isn't Moonlight. It's a different kind of light, Dan. It's The Light Between Oceans.
Very nice.
Thank you.
It's a great movie, too.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Hell or High Water.
That's my number 2.
Okay, my number 2 is American Honey.
Okay, all right. And the number 1 movie of that year, which I still haven't seen since the theater, but really would like to again, is Nocturnal Animals.
And my number 1 is OJ, Made in America.
Oh, yeah. Boy, was my list radically different than my old list, because I definitely left that up there.
Hell yeah, bro. I have an
All right,
idea.
I did what you did. I had a brand new list, you know.
I have an idea for the Patreon, Henry.
What's that?
How about, you know how we do order up? Order up?
Yeah. What up? Deviled eggs, Rubik's flour, Coca-Cola ice cream, mac and cheese, side order jello, green jello,
Oh.
red jello.
He changed his mind.
He changed his mind, man.
Okay.
Just for grilled cook, I'm telling you.
Well, I love that. How about this, though? Take a year, Henry. Like we do the year rankings.
All right.
Rank every movie you saw from that year.
Oh, I like that idea.
Oh, Henry's breaking up, but I think he likes the idea, King. Henry, you with me?
I do. I'm with you.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I do like the idea. I'll have to pick a year where I've seen a lot of movies. 2016, ironically, was one of those years where I saw a shit ton of movies. But
Well, you pick the year, and we'll order up. Order up. Year edition. Oh, Henry. So you know that we're getting ready for something ambitious because we're starting. It's the Nile Valley, 3600 BCE.
Yeah, we're not in Hiroshima. We're not in Auschwitz. We are in ancient Egypt. So.
And it's Apocalypse and his 4 horsemen, and they're building pyramids, and they light up, and it's all very alien and weird.
Yeah, I don't understand why everyone knows that the pyramids were built by aliens. So it's a very bold move to say that it was a mutant that created them. It's common knowledge that they were UFOs.
They were built by aliens, right?
Right. I got past it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah.
This opening was very silly. Did not need it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I agree. My Lord. I mean, and it's probably not too long, the opening, but it felt long.
It did feel long. It's like 30 seconds probably, but it felt forever.
It's longer than that, but
it was so fucking uncreative too. It was because. And it starts off, it's like, it's the header is Nile Valley. Like, they did no research. It's just like, oh, we're going to start in ancient Egypt. It's the Nile. You can't say that. That was a river. The valley of it.
Americans don't pay attention to that shit. Just call it the Nile Valley.
People know Nile. They think of Egypt. Like, the research they did for this fucking scene was them watching Stargate.
Yeah, they watch Indiana Jones and director's cuts of Tomb Raider. Yeah.
Ooh, which one?
They looked into the Days of Future Past and watched the new Alicia Vikander Tomb Raider.
Great movie.
Michael Fassbender's Squeeze. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's using that big old dick on her.
He's raiding that tomb.
Good one. Okay, so then we get another one of these shitty Bryan Singer opening credit sequences, and this one, Henry, is fucking trash. And can I go so far as to say something here?
You can say something.
We are going through this tunnel through history, right? Because that's what we're doing. Like the opening credits, it's bringing us up from 3600 BCE to the present day.
That's a lot of events to cover.
It is, but we need to see a lot of one event in particular. So all of a sudden, in this fun fucking X-Men opening credit sequence, There it is, another big honkin' swastika.
God, you're right.
This guy's fucking fetish with swastikas. I mean, this is... How many X-Men movies have there been now? Has there been an X-Men movie where I don't have to look at a swastika?
I would venture to say no. And if you don't want to watch that, just check out Valkyrie.
Maybe
I think
The
there's some
Wolverine?
swastikas in that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
FYI, swastikas all
In
over
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie. Swastikas all over fucking Apt Pupil.
Oh, right.
This
Oh,
guy's
boy.
obsessed with Nazis.
I think we got another dark secret about Mr. Singer.
Oh.
Well-
What does he fucking tape a Hitler mustache, onto the bottom of little boys' buttholes and pretend he's making out with Hitler?
Oh my God. I thought you were going to mention, but you wouldn't do this because it wouldn't annoy you as much as it annoys me, being an excommunicated Catholic. I
Excommunicated.
had to see Jesus because had to do that. Really?
Yeah.
Had
Oh,
to
you
see-
were bummed about Jesus?
Had to see him carrying that cross. You know?
Yeah. Oh, well, that's history,
Thought we were
dude.
doing historical
Yeah.
events.
That's history. Because we're in 3600 BCE, so
Right.
after 3600 years,
Mhm.
a little baby boy is born.
Right.
A little
Well,
bouncing bundle of joy.
It's good to know that supernatural events were occurring before that supernatural.
Maybe he was a mutant.
He would have had to be to pull off what they say he did. So there you go. That's a great point. We find out JFK was a mutant. We didn't talk about that.
That is true.
I was trying to stop the bullet, Charles. I was taken down. He was one of us.
Oh, that's right. We're told that Magneto curved the bullet. That's the explanation for the magic bullet. But Magneto said there was another force at work. There was a second shooter.
Yeah.
Uh,
Very audacious.
yeah. So fucking, we're in the present or where? No, we're not. We're in the 90s in this movie. 80s.
1983.
All right. It's
We're
83.
like increments of 10. You know, we're in 1962 for First Class. Then we go 11 years to 73. Now we're in 83.
Yeah, and Dark Phoenix is in the 90s. I think I read that.
Well, it has. I would think so. There you
Yeah.
go.
But anyway, in this one, it's basically the same crew, except we've got a new, young, fresh-faced Jean and Scott.
That's right. And
Mhm.
I think that Ty Sheridan is great as a young Cyclops.
I think he has potential. I don't know. I feel like the essential Ty Sheridan-ness of him has been sapped away a little bit.
A little bit, but I that's true. But I think he's really good. I think he's a good actor, and I think he gets a lot of the. Again, it's sort of a Bolivar Trask situation with him, but they do give him a lot of cool shit to do, but not a lot of great dialogue.
I'm a Ty Sheridan guy. I've been on board with this fella dating back to at least Mud.
Yeah, Bud and Joe.
Mud and
Yeah.
Joe, right? Those two. And I think he's fucking awesome. And so it's exciting for me to like see him get picked up by like mainstream Hollywood. But so far, I haven't been overly impressed with what they've done with the guy. I'm worried he's gonna get Taylor Kitsched.
Ooh.
Yeah, or not Taylor Kitsch so much because he's
too good to be
he's at
him.
least been in hits. He like these, fucking Ready Player One was huge. Maybe I'm more worried he's gonna get LaBeoufed.
That's probably a better comparison because both of them are better actors than Taylor Kitsch.
And Steven Spielberg latched his butthole to them.
A lot of colon
Butthole talk
references.
tonight? Sure. All right. So what's going on with these fellas, Hank?
Well, we meet Caliban, we meet Psylocke.
Oh, Caliban.
Yeah, basically, which was ruined for me because of already seeing the great Stephen Merchant playing him in Logan.
Oh, that's right. I forgot it's the same character.
Yeah, but Well, essentially, this guy awakens, right? Apocalypse awakens, Apocalypse Now, and comes back to life, and it's
Sure. And
really
Sabah Nur.
yeah, I was gonna try, but I yeah. And it's really, really strange. I mean, it's one of those characters. This has happened before where he's walking around even in like the dusty, sandy streets of Cairo, and it just doesn't work. You got Oscar Isaac loaded down under makeup.
Dude,
I mean,
why is it Oscar Isaac? It is trash, and he cannot deliver a performance under all this shit.
He's trying. I mean, he was almost my LVP, but that got trumped out. But
can I say one opinion about Endgame?
Oh well, I don't mind. Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna relate it to X-Men Apocalypse, and that is that whatever fucking performance capture technology that they are now using in those movies really fucking works. Because Thanos felt like a Josh Brolin performance, and Hulk felt like a fucking Ruffalo performance.
I'm just going to agree that you are right on that point.
So I'm just saying, this is only 2016. There's a way to really look. If you're producing an X-Men movie, deciding to cast Oscar Isaac as the main villain in your next movie opposite fucking Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy, hey, great idea.
Yeah, it's fine.
But there's just, I mean, he is swallowed up in this fucking movie.
Yeah, you're right. That didn't even occur to me that they could have just done a stop motion thing. They opted for the old school heavy makeup thing, but they seem to always go for that in these, and sometimes it works. I'd venture to say most of the time, but this one is just an utter failure. Yeah, and so he goes around, much like in First Class with Xavier and Magneto recruiting. So now is Apocalypse recruiting.
Right, because he's recruiting his horsemen. And the thing with the horsemen of Apocalypse in the comics is that they're basically, every time Apocalypse emerges, he picks like 4 random X-Men characters and brainwashes them to be his horsemen.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So, I mean, that's basically what they do here. They find 4 random X-Men characters, but they're brainwashed for the entire movie. So, in essence, all they're doing is pulling 4 character designs from the comic books and introducing them in fucking that way.
But I got confused now. You said he brainwashes them. I didn't even catch that he really did that. It seems like they go of their own volition, no?
No, I mean, you're probably right in this movie. In the comic, I mean, look, the reason they used Angel is because one of the most famous Angel storylines is that he becomes the Angel of Death for Apocalypse, and his wings get encased in metal.
All right.
And so that's what they do in this movie, which is Archangel. But that's only interesting if they do it to the existing character. But we only set up Ben Foster in that third one that no one fucking possibly want to remember. And so we're going to introduce like a new character named Angel after we already introduced another new character named Angel like 2 movies ago. And he's going to be your new villain, except like he really he's just a fucking henchman with metal wings.
Yeah, and it was funny you mentioned Ben Foster. It was 10 years since that for him, and he had much better things to do at this point in his career. So I'm really glad that he did.
Oh, I mean, come on, this is the year of Hell or High Water.
That's right. Yeah, he's off and running. He is.
Who could ever care about playing fucking Warren Worthington III again?
Oh yeah.
So there's Olivia Munn as Psylocke, who is fine, certainly a good visual, and she looks the part. And I mean, who else does he take?
That was such a strange choice because in the comic I've seen Psylocke, I feel like many times, but this movie underutilized her whole point to the point where I couldn't even remember what her actual abilities are, and I still don't.
She's telepathic. She's got similar to Jean Grey abilities. And
Okay.
I mean, basically, no. This is Bryan Singer. He's directing again, so he's making the same mistakes he made in those first couple movies, just bringing in character designs instead of establishing them as characters.
I see. Okay. Very
We
strange.
do it a bunch in this movie. There's also like a Jubilee character that goes nowhere.
Yeah, I read about that. Don't remember even knowing who that was. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So because she's like part of the crew. Like they introduce like new teen characters with Cyclops and Jean and Jubilee, and they go off to the mall. That's like the only acknowledgement that it's the 80s in this entire movie is just that they go to the mall.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with this movie, and I think, one of them is that First Class and Days of Future Past have a lot of fun with the timelines they're in, utilizing the 60s and 70s culture. This one does not utilize the 80s culture. It's also an extraordinarily generic plot. I mean, we've gone from the originality of all the predecessors before it. I mean, even for God's sakes, even X-Men Origins Wolverine, you got to give it some originality, trying for some, in the plot. But I mean, this is just your standard bad guy. I'm gonna rule the world, and I just sort of expect more, and especially
I agree with you.
Yeah, and especially if he's an integral villain in the comic. I mean, maybe this is what he wants to do in the comic, but maybe that's not the villain to have in a movie.
I never loved this character in the comic because this kind of is what he does in the comic. He's a real super villain, and he wants to take over the world or whatever. He's important ostensibly to X-Men mythos because he's the first mutant ever.
Sure. Yeah.
That said, to me in the X-Men, I really think you need a villain that connects either to the story of mutants or the idolatry of the X-Men or the metaphor of sort of X-Men as the other, mutants as the other.
That's right.
And Magneto obviously does that the best, but they've managed
he again is very good in this load of bullshit he's surrounded by. McAvoy and Fassbender still managed to come out unscathed, in my opinion.
Is this the one where Fassbender's got his family?
Yes.
Yeah, that stuff is pretty well done.
I liked all of that stuff very much.
Yeah, me too.
I have to say. Yeah.
Anyway, so you remember when we did the first X-Men movie, I was saying one of the things I've always felt about X-Men is it feels divorced from like being in a superhero universe. I feel like it makes more sense as its own sci-fi concept than being a part of the Marvel universe.
Yes, you did.
And so my problem with Apocalypse is now you're putting this is a superhero concept that you're putting onto the X-Men, which I don't think works super comfortably as a superhero story.
Because of Apocalypse's presence, or
Apocalypse is a supervillain bent to take over the world. Fine, that's a superhero story that's worth telling. That's basically Thanos. But the X-Men to me are not the characters to do that. That's not what X-Men is about.
Yeah. It loses a little of the intimacy in this movie, and I think that's why the sequences with Fassbender are so great. And even McAvoy in his little scenes with sort of reuniting with Mystique and palling around a little with Hank that's cool stuff. But it's another one of those films we come across them a lot where I'm way more interested in when Apocalypse is not on screen.
Yeah, they arced out Mystique, which is interesting. And sort of put her beside Xavier again, but except that we know that are we to take it that she becomes Rebecca Romaine Stamos, or are we to take it that that version of events never happened.
I don't know. I mean, I think we are to take it that she becomes what she became later, Rebecca Marmain Stamos, but it's just
Rebecca
you know,
Marmain Stamos.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, so that part of it's good or whatever. There's some good stuff in the movie, but
That's why I was having a tough time then. I'm having a tough time now. I mean, I kind of want to give this like 3 stars.
I think it's a bad movie, dude. I think it's the first bad X-Men movie since Wolverine, since Origins Wolverine.
Oh,
And-
okay, I see.
Yeah, I don't think this movie fucking has it together. It has no new ideas. The best thing we get is a redo of the Quicksilver thing that everyone liked, and anytime you do a redo, it's not going to be as good as the original. See also all the hallway fights in Daredevil.
Oh, that's not fair.
Sorry.
The series has amazing fucking fight. Come on.
They
All right,
never
anyway.
topped the first one.
I don't know about if I agree with that, but okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But yeah, no, you know what? You're right, because I mean it's 2 stars. It's definitely not 1 star.
no, it's 2 stars for sure.
But you know, speaking of X-Men Origins Wolverine, I mean, I believe I gave that 3 stars because I thought there was enough in there to have it be a fun bad.
I think that's better than this.
Yeah, it is better than that. It definitely is better than this. So then that's fine.
In fact, if I'm looking at my Hugh Jackman rankings right now, I have Origins at 12 and Apocalypse at 13.
Well, yeah, I have Origins 2 above Apocalypse, right? So yeah, I mean, now can we just talk briefly about Sophie Turner?
Yeah, she can act.
She, you know, you were giving Famke Janssen a lot of shit.
No. Sophie Turner's way worse, man.
She really, I brought this type of stuff up before, but like this is just one of those prime examples of it's like, okay, so there's a big star on a TV show right now who has this role, and so let's throw her in this because everyone will know her because they watch Game of Thrones, and so. But
Do you know her from Thrones?
Just, yeah, that's how I know. That's all I know her from.
Is she good on there?
She's fine. As far as I remember, sure. I mean, I haven't watched that show for years, but sure, she's fine. She's kind of in her element, It's just kind of a quiet victim, staid princess type of thing. At least she was back then. I don't know, but it's just not. She's just rather devoid of charisma too, And I don't know. I mean, I always liked Famke Janssen in this role.
It was very much like a January Jones situation, and I didn't remember this. This was not an issue I had with this movie the first time I watched it, but maybe I'm watching it now knowing that the next movie's fucking Dark Phoenix, so she's going to be saddled with a really complex and demanding role, and she doesn't have it, man.
I mean, this is her. This is it. I thought of that. Well, first of all, I thought about how much I liked Famke Janssen as Jean Grey.
All right, enough. We get it. You liked Famke Janssen.
She's almost as much as you like Lovely and Amazing.
Hey, if you want to know more about that joke, listen to the Patreon.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, is that on the Patreon?
I think so.
All right.
That was from an episode of Award Bros.
Okay, all right, right. But yeah, Sophie Turner now. It's true. This is what we're going to be covering in a bonus episode later on this year, Dark Phoenix. And she is like, what, going to carry this movie? I don't know. I mean, maybe another director will be able to handle it. Kinberg.
Yeah, Simon Kinberg. He's the man for the job.
Who knows? Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, I was awfully shocked by her.
So you really didn't have this is one of those few instances, rare instances where I actually knew the actress a little more than you did. Is that
I don't know from anything, but like I've seen these Thrones people pop up and shit, and for the most part they've been good.
Yeah, you're right. Lena Headey is good, and
Well, I knew her before, but I mean like people like this that like are just like rando Game of Thrones actors. Like and it's always like I don't know they're from Game of Thrones, and then I see them in something and I like them and I look it up and that's what they're from.
right. Okay.
Rose Leslie was one of those.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Sophie Turner, not one of the good ones apparently.
LVP.
All right, yeah, she's mine too. Who's your MVP?
No,
you know what? Fuck it. I'm going Oscar Isaac as LVP.
Yeah, I had it. I had a slash. Like I wrote Oscar Isaac slash Sophie Turner, but I'm sticking with Sophie Turner because it's not Oscar Isaac's fault.
No, of course not. I just mean like that. Listen, the movie's called X-Men Apocalypse, and Apocalypse wasn't good.
Agreed. I'm gonna go MVP because I was thinking about the sequence in Poland and how good it is. So I'm gonna go with Fassbender again.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, you probably have to go with Fassbender, but I'll also say Evan Peters was good again.
He was.
I thought Nicholas Hoult. You know what? Maybe I'll go with Nicholas Hoult.
Okay. Yeah.
I liked his storyline with Jennifer Lawrence. They handled that nicely. I also liked the kid who played new young Nightcrawler.
Oh yeah, fucking Let Me In kid, right?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. No, he's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there you go. It's a 2 though.
Yeah, it's a 2. I'll agree with you on that one. Yep.
Superhero
Alrighty.
count.
Only 2, folks. This one I didn't know. Oscar Isaac. This has been coming up a lot lately. Into the Spider-Verse. He played Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099.
That's right. Yeah, he just pops up for a couple minutes in that movie, but I was excited because I loved that comic.
Yeah, well, you love the movie too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and Olivia Munn was in Iron Man 2 playing Chess Roberts.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. So anyway, we got to wrap this up. Not a great recording this week, gang.